Oh my goodness, it's Sunday already. Sunday. Super stoked for tonight's show, man. We got moved out into the big room, and in spite of a little adversity, we're ready to get this thing kicked in the ass. Good to see all you guys checking in tonight behind Rudy's Fairing. Jeff McKinney in with us. Shane Stallbummer. That's a new name. Where are you from? Hey, if you're watching this thing, man, put up your name, where you're watching from. We'll give you a little shout out. It's always a kick for us to see where everybody watches Shop Talk. Sunday nights at 9 p.m., man, we go live with this show. The Mighty Quinn knows that. He's here all the time. It's good to see everybody. Man, we got a lot to talk about. Everything from floodwaters to good times. We're bringing it all to you. 90 to 120 minutes of all the two-wheel bullshit we can fit. And we're even on time tonight. I can't stand it myself. Stick around. You're watching Shop Talk. Don't go anywhere. We got a short time to count down, and we're going live. If I start the clock, we're counting down. Jesus. This isn't a good sign. Shannon's watching from Wamengo, Kansas. Wamengo. I would want to tell people that's where I was watching from all the time. Wamengo. Steve Broyles representing the D. Detroit in the house. So good. Man, the new studio is kicking ass. I can't wait. Bagger Bader in the house. Sup, kids? Shop Talk. 279 shows as of tonight. Tonight's airing is 279. I can't even believe that. That's more things I've done consecutively than, well, at least that I didn't have to have a probation officer for at the end. Get a drink, kick back and relax. Get ready for Shop Talk going live in just 4 minutes. So not a lot of stuff in the news to talk about as far as motorcycles this week. We got a couple good pieces, but boy, one that I got to rave about is the fact that the Supreme Court overturned the Chevron Act. Let me hear it. If you guys don't know what this is, we're going to talk about it and how it affects the EPA, limits their powers over all of the United States, really, all of the regulatory commissions, but for us, man, this is a big day because it's definitely putting a muzzle on the EPA for us a little bit, and we're going to sing about that. Big Matt in the house, Evil Rick with us, Dennis Stauber, Big D checking in, my man. How's that bike going up there, buddy? Speaking of how things are going, we're getting ready for smoke out, and you should see some of the motorcycles these cats are building for the garage build-off. And if you didn't hear the news, let me turn this music down real low so you can hear this. We got Texas Hippie Coalition for our main act. That's right, boy. THC coming to Salisbury. Xavier in the house. Providence Cycle Works. Texas. T-Hoss, well represented. Woody Sage with us. Shortsters watching live instead of tomorrow. Dig it. Hardington, Nebraska. Oh, it's good to see you guys here. All right, we're down to the 2-minute mark. That's enough time for you to tell your friends and neighbors we're getting ready to go live with this show. Good show tonight. Mikey Revolt's on with us. We're going to talk about Fuel Cleveland. We're going to talk about one of the most amazing motorcycle photographers that's out there today. Check out some of his work. And like I said, the Supreme Court falls in favor of the bikers. Plus, oh my God, we have a movie review from the one and only K. Randall Ball. Went to see the Bike Riders this week, and you might be surprised at what he has to say about it. Minute and a half going live. Is Moonshiner Chuck really here? What's up, Chuck? What's up, Chuck? What's up, Chuck? That's like Charlie Brown. What's that?
I said, what are you, 5?
I am 5. Troy Phillips in the house. Charles Kitchen. All right, man. 55 seconds.
Tim Stoll.
Tim Stoll is here. Shut up. He's got.
Tim, will you please bring your Elvis suit to smoke out?
Oh, man. All right, listen, 42 seconds. That's close enough for me to get this one out of the station and up onto the tracks. Let's go live with this week's installment of Shop Talk. Here we go. Okay, scooter tramps and chopper jockeys all across the land. It is just after 9 p.m. Actually, only 9:02 on the East Coast. 8 o'clock.
Oh my God.
Here in Mitchell, South Dakota, where we are 50 floors above the street level, high atop Television Hill at the Clockworks compound, coming to you live through the courtesy of the Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio. And I am joined by my entire crew tonight.
Oh my God.
Look at that. He's not purple. He's not looking for the microphone. He's killing it.
Might be purple.
Mark is back in the house with us. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Mark Persichetti.
You've got an extra minute tonight.
I'm like, this is so exciting.
I did get an extra
Although
minute.
he does kind of look like, in front of that black screen, he looks like he's waiting for his mugshot. I'm just saying.
I need a green screen so I can like show the weather.
Rudy's Fairing says I'm in Echo Land. You might be picking up the fact that we're in the big room. The studio is not completely finished yet, so we don't have any sound editing blocks or anything like that. But it is a beautiful room, and I'm gonna take it. I was happy to move out here instead of being in the little space we had. So you're gonna have to bear with the echo a little bit.
The room is giant with what? 30-foot ceiling, 20-foot ceiling, 30-foot ceilings, 20-foot ceilings.
Professional monkey in with us. I saw somebody else here, Rob Nussbaum. Mm-hmm. Charlie Wright. Wow. Kieran is here. Good times.
Monkey wants to know how the shop is since the flood.
Oh, my goodness. So if you guys aren't aware of this, there was a hellacious storm again here in Mitchell, South Dakota. Many, many businesses, and not even just in Mitchell, parts of Iowa, parts of Minnesota. The people up by Green Earth River, the dam gave out up there, like everybody got hammered. And one more time, I gotta say, like, it's unbelievable to report the Clockworks goes through another flood. Maybe between 50 and 100 motorcycles underwater here. Mm-hmm. Really, really hard time for everybody here. So whatever you subscribe to, send your prayers, send your good energy, because it's going to be a long path still.
You know, and I have to say, and if I get emotional, I'm sorry. Watching the team here has been one of the most inspiring things I think I have ever seen.
Yeah.
Within 48 hours of the flood, they had, how big is the shop? Several thousand square feet.
Yeah.
They had all the sheetrock down. They had all the insulation out. And they were starting the process of recovery within 48 hours. And that was without their king and queen here. Unfortunately, they were traveling for Born Free and couldn't get back. Yeah. The highway interstate was closed. You couldn't get flights. You just couldn't come back. But the team here at Clockwork during the storm and after the storm has been absolutely incredible.
Yep. Oh. It's been something. So whatever you can do. Yeah, Jeff McKinney, didn't they get flooded 2 years ago? 3 years ago.
2019.
This place was devastated by flood. And this time it was a pretty rough shot again, man. Like I said, Heather and I were both out of town too, and we started getting pictures in of motorcycles underwater, and then as soon as the floodwaters receded, it was all the mud, and it was pretty brutal. You wanna run out and show everybody where everything's at?
Did you send me that link?
I did.
You did, all right.
And brag on everybody. While Heather's getting ready for that, I'm going to tell you guys one more time. One of the biggest pieces of news we can talk about tonight is that the Supreme Court, in a 6-3 decision, overturned the Chevron Act. And what this means is, if you ever wondered, like lately, it seems like every time a president gets into office, they change the whole tempo of the country. Well, the way that happens is that president comes in, he's not actually changing laws. He's changing regulations, and that is a violation of the premise of our Constitution, right? We're guaranteed by our Constitution only to be governed by laws enacted by our elected officials. Well, what they did through the Chevron Act was decide that elected officials could make a law, and then they could appoint a regulatory commission, and the regulatory commission could outline all of this stuff about that law, and they could do it how they saw fit, right? Well, through the brilliance of the Supreme Court, today they got rid of, after all the way since 1984, they got rid of the Chevron Act and took it back to where lawmakers have to make the laws. They have to define what the laws do, the power that they have, and it's really going to take a lot of the power out of regulatory commissions and appointed bodies like the EPA. You guys know what the EPA has done to motorcycling. And before we go further with that, I want to send a giant thank you out to Scotty from SNS, because at this year's IMA meeting in Daytona, Scotty was the one that brought the Chevron Act and it being up in front of the Supreme Court. He brought that up to everybody there. He educated us all on it. And, now to see that thing go through, we owe it all to Scotty that we were even informed about that to begin with. But I think Heather's ready. So real quick, let's go to Heather on the scene at Clockworks. Heather, you there? Well, I said that I got most of this working, right? What you're seeing right now is the main showroom and front building when you come into Clockworks. And like I said, they have 4 feet of the walls, all had to go, everything, all the bikes in there, all the product, all the merchandise. They had to get rid of all of that, start cleaning everything up. Anybody that's been here, passed through on a visit, knows that like all of these walls were just garnished with beautiful artwork and motorcycle pictures and collectibles and stuff over the years. That was the giant conference room, also had to be gutted. But you can see it's clean, it's going in the right direction. The motorcycles, every motorcycle in this building had to have an immediate oil change. They were ridden for 15 miles, another oil change, and then they were ridden for 40 miles and got another oil change. So every bike that you see there right now pretty much has been prepped and reconfigured. Terrible, but clean floors. Everybody's in good spirits. Heather's coming back up the stairs.
That's what the team's all about, man. They got a good team.
They really do, man. They really do. Yep. All right, man. So yeah, a couple people were commenting on the Chevron Act stuff that makes lawmakers accountable to their constituents. Absolutely. And again, I'm not saying this from a place of who you voted for, what party you belong to. It doesn't matter. A president should not have the power to come in and change the whole tempo of the country. Half the time it works out for you, half the time it doesn't. But the point is, lawmakers should have to do that work. Lawmakers should have to do it, and more importantly, we should have a recourse when there's laws that affect the people of this country. We should have the recourse of having our day in court. That is the point of due process. If we don't like something, we get to go to court over it, and that's now without the benefit of the Chevron Act. That's where we're at again. We're back to a place where we'll have a voice in court, we'll have our day in court, and they will be accountable to provide facts and figures that back up what they want to do with our laws. So
let's see if we can get them to get rid of emissions in Pennsylvania and California now.
Right. Yep. Jeff
So
McKinney.
it's going to probably be up on that.
Jeff McKinney. That's why people need to vote. Absolutely, absolutely right. So, hey man, we normally start this program off with the news. I kind of blew it by jumping right into the Chevron deal because I'm so excited. But
That was an important piece to cover, though. I think
it
that
was.
takes precedence over any of the fluff pieces I had lined up. So
we do have a couple pieces. Let's start off with
The ShopTalk World Report is brought to you by Law Tigers. Get the compensation you deserve and get back on the road with Law Tigers.
Okay, first up in the news tonight, and this comes from our own Cycle Source magazine World Report. Dale's Wheels Through Time Museum celebrating 22 years. So cool, man. What a fantastic place. If you have never been, shame on you to begin with. But also, you're going to want to get there through this anniversary celebration because they got a lot of great stuff planned, including the American Motor Drum Wall of Death. You will not see a collection of motorcycles anywhere on the planet like you see in this building. And Mark, you know the deal with that, right? The number one feature about that is any bike you see there, you can ask somebody to go over and kickstart that thing to life and watch it run around the building.
yeah,
It's amazing what they're doing, keeping the industry or keeping the history of this industry alive. It's pretty cool.
and I love that Matt picked up pretty much right where Dale left off, and he's carried that torch so well.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So check them out today at Wheels Through Time on all social media platforms. Get a little more information about their anniversary and get down to Maggie Valley. It's a great weekend adventure riding, if nothing else.
What a great way to spend 4th of July, celebrating the most iconic piece of America, like in our world, in our culture anyway.
Yep. All right, Blondie. Next up in the news, also from our World Report, Harley-Davidson unveils Davidson Park, a new community park at iconic Milwaukee headquarters.
It's super cool, actually. They took the giant parking lot. I mean, it's sad that the parking lot isn't full of employees and workers at the factory, but they kind of put it to good use other than throwing up condos.
Yeah, right on.
So I'm super happy about that, and they are making it very community-oriented. There's a big amphitheater that people can host concerts, and they're hoping to have farmers markets and all sorts of really great things. But it does pay homage to Harley-Davidson while benefiting the community. Again, way better than condos as far as I'm concerned.
It is better, and like for those of you that don't know that angle of this story, originally this was the employee parking lot for Harley-Davidson's main headquarters, and originally they had talked about actually just selling this property off. So it's good to see that it's turning into something that both benefits the company and benefits the community surrounding it. So good on them.
I do think it's still a little bittersweet when you go to Milwaukee and you go to Juneau Ave. It's kind of dead space.
There aren't actually people working there.
There aren't actually people working there. So it's very bittersweet, I think. The energy is just different there. And you go there and everybody takes their pictures, but it still leaves you kind of a little bit empty,
sad.
I think.
A little sad.
Yeah.
Because all of those people are now working from home.
Yeah, disheartening.
Yeah.
You expect more from such a big company that'd still be pushing as hard as they used to, but I guess progression, business sucks.
Rudy, if you send me peanut butter and fluff sandwiches, we will never fight again, I promise. I'm just saying.
Oh my God. How did he even find out that that's your jam? See what I did there? Jam.
Because if you paid attention.
I don't though.
Funny guy.
Monkey said he likes fluff, and I said with peanut butter. And he was like, yeah, that's where it all
Son of a biscuit eater.
That's where it all started.
Next up in the news.
Oh, did you see? I didn't see
in
that.
our last piece, Motorcycle Power Sports News brings us the information that the Motorcycle Grant Program to help deaf students learn to ride. MSF has also added tips for working with deaf students and will produce videos to prepare coaches, interpreters, and students. National Motorcycle Safety Fund created a $15,000 grant program to give more deaf and hard of hearing persons the opportunity to learn to ride by reimbursing Motorcycle Safety Foundation recognized MSF rider training sites that hire sign language interpreters. MSF has also added a tips guide for working with deaf students and will produce videos will help prepare coaches, sign language interpreters, and students before the class. That's pretty awesome.
That's pretty rad. I like that. I like that when I can't even word apparently. Jeepers creepers.
You're giving it a good shot.
I'm
though.
trying. I'm stuck on Mark Hendrick's comment.
Oh.
I didn't see that Harley just laid off 150 employees.
How about it?
Yeah.
How about it? Someone else just said they heard those layoffs were coming too.
Well, there's a few more parking spots. Maybe they can put a slide in.
These are trying times, man. Everything going on with this election, the economy the way it is. There's war all over the world. These are hard times. But that makes it even more important to get out and ride a motorcycle. Boy, I'll tell you what, your timing tonight is dog shit.
You know why? Because I'm used to having a screen in front of me, and I don't have one. I have to look at your screen. And now I know. I know Mark's troubles from before. I need a screen right here.
Yeah, not being able to see comments, not being able to actually directly see. That's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, I can see the comments, but I have to watch Chris.
All right, so listen, we're going to roll on with the rest of this show because Mikey is in the wings waiting to talk to us about fuel. We got so much to get to, and I think we're going to start things off with a look at a new product. It's actually a variation of a product that we saw in development. It's something I am personally using on the FXRT build this year from Providence Cycle Works. We're going to look at that. We come back on the other side. There's plenty more shop talk, so don't go anywhere. Hey, this is Chris with Grease and Gears TV, and this right here is your product spotlight. All right, so today's product spotlight comes from the mind of Xavier Muriel of Providence Cycle Works. He and Dan Toce have been in the Mad Lab going at this thing of beauty right here for you FXR freaks, man. Get ready. So you saw this first when Xavier did his friend's throwdown bike. He actually took a stock swing arm and speed holed it and came up with something that looked a little bit like this. This one, the final design in a collaboration between Toce Performance and Providence Cycle Works, is truly a thing of beauty. Let's talk about this for a second. So machined out of 6061 T6 aluminum, this incredible piece of machinery here is really just refined and different, and my favorite thing about it is it's close enough to the stock configuration that it's not to take away from anybody else on the market's design, but this is kind of in line with what the FXR purists will dig to begin with, but it's giving you a step up. Comes with the stock shock mounting configuration, several different brake stays available. You can reach out to Xavier through direct message on that. You can also use this with your stock bearings, or it's available with upgraded ones. If you take a look there, even the axle plates, the way they're doing that, there's stays so that once you get your axle adjustment into place, there are little set screws that go in that actually help that stay exactly where it needs to be. This one is in satin, but you can do anything with these. They can be chrome, they can be anodized, they can come with a high polish. This is going to look great on the Twisted T FXRT, the FXRT, the Twisted FXRT, the FXR Twisted T. Man, we're building a bike for Twisted T. Everybody has a chance to get out there and get a shot at winning that thing. Check that out today. You definitely want to reach out to Xavier about this. These things are ready to go to market. So new, in fact, that there's no retail price right at this moment, but any day now they're going to be posting what these things sell for, how you can get one. I can't believe that we have one in our hands right now, and it's going on that motorcycle as soon as I'm done recording this product spotlight. So you got to go. It's shop time here in the Grease and Gears garage. I'm Chris with Cycle Source Magazine. That's your product spotlight.
only thing standing between you and the open road is some garage time with the right parts and accessories to make your motorcycle roar. And that's why riders everywhere choose DennisKirk.com, the one stop you need to get your Harley back on the road. Our knowledgeable tech staff will help you navigate our more than 185,000 parts, apparel, and accessories that are ready to ship today, with free shipping on all orders over $89. So tune up your ride and get ready for the next adventure. Ride more, wait less. Dennis Kirk.
Hey, I'm Ron Fleener,
All right.
Knoxville, Tennessee.
Okay, we dropped his
Please Color Factory, you're watching Shop Talk.
renamed him.
FXRT!
Hey man, getting ready for Sturgis. I wish I could tell you that I'm ready, but we're not. What is on its way is the FXRT. If you don't know about this, Twisted Tea and Cycle Source Magazine is going at it again. We're building a incredible motorcycle that we're getting ready to drag out to Sturgis. We'll be on stage at the Buffalo Chip. We'll be all over town with it. Billy will be riding this thing, and this year's motorcycle is the FXRT. You can see it behind me in its previous state of almost glory. We got some great parts coming in, man, from Toce Performance, Providence Cycle Works, Clockworks, obviously going with the clock, FXRP fairing, clock front fender. We got some of Tony May's wheels. Like, it's gonna be a bitchin' motorcycle, and I can't wait to tell you about the paint. We're gonna do a whole thing on that, and if you wanna watch this entire build, you can go over to Greasing Gears TV. That'll be up shortly after we do the unveiling at the Buffalo Chip. So until then, I'm gonna get back to work. You get on twistedtea.com and sign up to win this thing. All right, man, welcome back to the Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio. You're watching Shop Talk. I am your host, Chris Callen with Cycle Source Magazine, and what an absolute pleasure to be here. The studio is rocking. We finally got everything dialed in. Mark is back in the wings with us, bringing up the anchor position. Ever faithful with his one-liners at hand.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting.
Yeah. So what's going on back in Pittsburgh? Tell me about that. No flooding.
Fires out at your house. Shitter's full.
Shitter's full.
Nothing. We actually got to spend the weekend together last weekend.
We did. So Mark and I went.
I went Heather. Just to let you know, it was 52 mile an hour, 78 mile an hour, 46 mile an hour, 59 mile an hour.
And you're damn it, there is cruise control, for the love of all things holy. The button is right there.
I was having flashbacks like I used to drive with my dad, because it'd be pouring down rain and would be directly behind the tractor trailer, and it would be like horrible torrential downpour, and then he'd go around, it wouldn't be raining at all. Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is why I smoke a lot of weed when I travel with
weed. He smokes weed. Oh. We should get you some kind of sponsorship from the weed guys.
Wouldn't that be nice? Huh? We should get something real nice, you know?
All right, man. So listen, our guest tonight is, like I said in the pre-show, one of the most talented photographers in motorcycling. I've been a big fan of his work forever. Then when he branched off into creating this amazing event in the heartland of the United States, I became an even bigger fan. I know Heather,
big fan.
Yeah, Heather loves going to this event. We have a blast there.
I know. I'm sad we can't go this year.
I'm going to have to go for you, though.
That would be great.
No,
there you go.
Asked. I'd love to go out there, hang out. Mikey's awesome.
Dude, yeah. And I'll tell you what, that property is absolutely the shit. So we're talking about the originator and headman over at Fuel, and Mikey Revolt waiting to come on with us. Let's go get him.
Just Hanging Out in the Shop is brought to you by Spectro Oils. Made in the USA since 1966, the best oil on planet Earth.
Mikey, what's up, buddy?
What's up, everybody? The Heartland.
Yeah, that's right.
Ohio's for lovers, you know?
Ohio is for lovers. I had some of my first girlfriends from that state.
Hello. Let's leave this alone.
Yes, sir. So how many years is this now for fuel?
This is the 9th year. It would have been 10, but of course, obviously, there's that COVID year, so we couldn't do it. I think 2021 we had to cancel it because of COVID. So it is our 9th year this year.
So, like a lot of events, kind of started off real loose, everybody getting together, great bikes, having a good time. And then as it was growing, you could see the momentum picking up. And at its height, you decide we're going to completely change the tempo of this. We're going to move it out into a giant property. And it seemed like just an absolute explosion at that point. That's what it looked like from the outside. Tell me the actual crisis that went on behind the scenes.
Yeah, you made that sound really beautiful. It's not that at all. Basically, everyone in Cleveland said, "Fuck you. We can't house that many people." We kept telling them we might have anywhere from 5,000 to 8,000 people showing up, and they're like, "Yeah, we can't do that." And then the one venue we had that was really beautiful, he went and leased off half the building to a permanent tenant, so we were screwed. The last building that would want to have us, they basically rented out half the building, so we were, as one would say, fucked. So scrambling around and trying to figure out what we would be able to do, if we could rent a parking lot downtown, or I don't know, anything we could possibly think of. We basically found a museum called the Crawford Aviation and Automobile Museum, and one of those guys was like, "Hey, have you ever thought about doing it at Hale Farm?" And we said, "No, never thought about it at all." And basically, we went down there and looked at it and was like, "Holy crap, this property is equivalent to like a Born Free kind of feeling. It's got lakes, it's got just epic scenery, and it's actually really good riding to get to the property as well." So all this stuff kind of made sense. We didn't want to change the name because why change branding and things like that. And it's still Northeast Ohio, so people still come from all over the country, and they come to Fuel Cleveland, and they still stay in Cleveland and then head 30 minutes south to the farm. So,
well, and I got to tell you too, I'm a big fan. As much as I love the motorcycle thing, I mean, come on, I've been doing the motorcycle thing my whole life, and I'll never get tired of looking at cool motorcycles, whether the old, new, whatever, all denominations. I'll never get tired of having conversations with motorcycle people about motorcycle things. But whenever you can work in and also, any kind of historic component that you can fit into a motorcycle event, that just enriches it so much more for me. And the one year that I was out there, I was lucky enough to catch the guy that's the blacksmith on property at the Hale Farm. And dude, that was one of the coolest things that I've ever seen.
They have blacksmith, glass blowing, pottery making, and they're like, "Oh, do you want us to shut those exhibits down while you're having your show?" And we're like, "No, that's like the heart of what you guys do here." We're like, "Keep that open." It also makes it just family friendly. I mean, to teach how to make some of the stuff. Everything that motorcycles are, metal and hand creations. These are other avenues of hand creation. So we definitely told them to keep it the way it is. And the other cool thing with the historic value of that property is they have homes and houses and buildings from the 1800s that they've actually moved and made a village. And that's where we have the show. That photo right there with all the people and that house right there, that's from the 1800s that they actually moved there in the village. So it's really cool to be surrounded by these old buildings with old motorcycles. And it really makes it special in its own way.
It's so great because I remember last year at that particular building, completely unrelated to Fuel, there was a wedding. And there was a beautiful bride and her wedding party, and they were at that building taking pictures and surrounded by motorcycles. And it's just, like you said, melding everything all together at once. It's the perfect mix. perfect mix.
Yeah,
you have a
we're
great
pretty stoked
collaboration.
on the place too, because they've been nothing but helpful. They do a lot for us, where there's been other venues where literally we were cutting down trees the week before in the parking lot because it was overgrown. You know what I mean? Like, and picking up garbage and trash. And these guys, it's a dialed in venue that they're normally doing these kind of big events. So they really help us a lot, and we're really grateful for their help at Hale Farm. So
Yeah, I think it's pretty awesome how everything just comes together. You have something there for everybody, from hot rods, the vans, the all the different displays and stuff like that. Food, just man, you and like you said, you're bringing it back to more of a little bit more family, I think, which is totally awesome, because a lot of people want to get their kids back into the culture, since that's part of what we all push for, is to keep these younger people doing shit the way we did it when we were growing up. So you have an awesome event, man. Truly awesome.
thank you. I appreciate it. That was one of the biggest goals for me, was to inspire youth. If you don't have younger kids getting into this stuff, it's going to go away. And I actually had a submission this year for a motorcycle submission of a builder, and it was a 17 or 18-year-old kid, and he went to a show when he was 13, 5-6 years ago, whatever. And he said he saw a bunch of choppers, and he's like, "Dad, I want to do this." And he's been built his third bike now that he built, and he thought it was ready enough to be able to submit it to fuel. So I was like, "Holy crap, that's such a cool story." Yeah, duh, you're totally in the show. You know what I mean? Like, how cool is that? Like, that's exactly what we set out to do, and it's happening. And I'm able to see it now because we're in our 9th show. You know what I mean? Like, it's actually paying off, and kids that are local here are like really paying attention and actually getting stoked on motorcycles and choppers. So
Was that one?
Dude, that has to make you feel really good. I mean, I know Chris and Heather, and for all that we've done and tried to, I guess back a few years, it was more of a shit show. It was more of a party for us than it was now. It's almost teaching these kids the lifestyle, and there is profitability in it. So not everybody wants to be a bike builder, but there's so much to do in this industry and in this lifestyle, and on top of just enjoying each other's company, which is huge, making good friends.
Yeah, right on, man. I think that's the thing, though. Like, really, that's the evolution. You start out just doing what you do, and that was kind of why I gave you the lead-in that I did about the evolution of the show. You do what you do. It's you and your buddies, and then all of a sudden you sit there and you're like, hey, this thing has been so good to us. This is an opportunity to do something back, right?
yeah, and with this show too, it's free. It's free for everybody. We don't charge an admission. We charge cars $10 because they're riding in cages, and you should ride a motorcycle to the show. So it's a motorcycle show, first and foremost. So anyone riding a motorcycle, you don't have to pay, and then there's no attendance fees for anyone. But we do charge cages $10. So
There's nothing wrong with that.
other than that, it's open all day on Saturday, and we extended it to 2 days. Thank God I extended it 2 days last year, because it rained half the time. And the people that were scared of the rain came Sunday. So it all worked out. And I think the vendors were stoked. We have a huge vendor village I think I have 60 some vendors this year. And they were stoked for 2 days because they didn't have to pack up right away and go home the next day. They got to hang out and see their friends on Sunday. It was a little more chill. And as you can see in that photo there's over 6,000 bikes in that parking lot.
Wow.
The ride show itself is insanity. We've never counted attendance before, and when we got to Hale Farm, we started using clickers. So when a bike pulls in, they click it, and we had counted over 6,700 bikes last year.
That's outstanding. When you started this 9
pretty
years
awesome.
ago, did you think it was going to grow the way it has?
No. I thought it was going to be just something fun to do and show off some of my own artwork and my own bikes, and Jesse at Gasbox's bikes, and obviously I worked for Lowbrow Customs, and it was to help promote Lowbrow as well, and just kind of have a good local event that we can help some of the Midwestern builders and even East Coast builders have another place to showcase. And it's kind of just become its own monster in a way.
So for you, at the very young age that you are, and I know how old you are, What does it feel like when you realize that you are inspiring a whole other generation to follow and do what you love? How does that feel?
It's still shocking. I mean, I still get emails once in a while if somebody gets like a Forever the Chaos Life tattoo. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, and that's what my website, you know, and my like little saying of where I publish photos and stuff. And it's wild to me that, you know, kids look up to what I've been doing. And I never sought out to do that. The show, I sought out to hopefully inspire some people that, like I said, young youth to build a bike. But like my photography, I've always just done what I've done to do what I do. I don't know. I never thought that I would inspire people to do that kind of stuff with photography or art. But the show, I did seek out to do a little bit of inspiration, and I think it's working, and I'm proud of it. You know what I mean? It makes me feel good inside. Again, the show's free. I don't make a lot of money on it. None of us do. It's just to keep it going every year and give back to the community that we all love. So
it's outstanding.
Well, and you know what, man? I think that's something to talk about here too, because you hit on something that's really important for me. I have a tremendous amount of pride of where I'm from. You know what I mean? And like, I spent so much of my childhood growing up in motorcycling and seeing how everybody was always preoccupied with the West Coast. And I don't want any hate right now. I'm not downing on my West Coast brothers. Like, the sun sees fit to share its day with you too. But the East Coast has a lot to offer, man. And like, you know, culturally and traditionally and everything else that you can talk about, there's so much that we have to bring to the table. And when you do something like this, you know, I was looking at that picture of the overhead of this property. Like, it's just so perfectly Ohio, you know. It's so great to see you guys embracing that.
Lots of cornfields, lots of cornfields and farmland. In between the big cities. And what's funny is when people roll through Ohio, all they think is we got cornfields, and it's like, no, we got lots of other stuff. And because we're in the garages 6 months out of the year, I think a lot more cooler shit comes out of this area and on the East Coast, because we have that winter. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Mark was saying,
I feel like people are in their garage doing shit.
Mark was saying just a bit ago about how we spent the weekend together, and we were in Ohio. We were in South Central Ohio, and one of the things, and it's Piketon. I can't remember the name of the town where the art wall is down by the dam, but one of the coolest parts of the whole weekend, Piedmont. Ricky took us down to this giant dam wall, and they had commissioned an artist to come in, and he did a mural. It was hundreds and hundreds of feet of this flood wall, and it was the entire history of the town. And you got to see like everything that started there, like Portsmouth. That's it.
Portsmouth.
You got to see the shoelace factory that was there, and all the famous baseball players that came out of that town, and the fact that it was the town in the United States that the very first ever motorcycle riding club was ever started. You know, and you got to see all that. And like, I love towns like that are so proud of their heritage. And when you can combine that into some motorcycle life, see, for a lot of us, the motorcycle was the vehicle that we went to see all that, you know. So good on you, man. Good on you for bringing that stuff together.
It's Ohio's great. We're the third largest registered motorcycle riders in the country. It's California, Texas, Ohio, and Southern Ohio, where you were at, is amazing adventure and dual sport riding.
Yeah.
If you ever get a dual sport and you want to hang out in Southern Ohio and you want to hang out with me, we're gonna go dual sporting all the time now, because I just got a dirt bike not too long ago, and that's all I want to do.
Right on. Hey, listen. So Anthony Robinson is in here, and he says maybe true about bike builds. However, we have the best coffee.
We wouldn't
Who
know.
does? West Coast?
Yeah. Now, see, this brings up a whole other thing, right? Like East Coast, West Coast, Starbucks versus Dunkin'. Come on, man. Of course, he has his own coffee. That's different.
Yeah.
So, Mikey, I want to know a little bit more about you. Where did your love of motorcycling come from?
For my love of motorcycles came from my my stepfather, my uncles, basically even my supposed real dad, which is a really long story that I'm not going to get into. But my supposed real dad put me on the top of his gas tank and let me hold the bars at 2.5 years old. It's like one of the earliest memories I've ever had in my life. Was riding around the trailer park and fucking having my hands on there, thinking I'm steering this motorcycle, and really I wasn't. But you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just always been something in my life. My dad had silver wings. My stepdad had silver wings and gold wings. He never got into Harleys really, but all of his like brother-in-laws and his uncles all were on Harleys. His one uncle actually was in the Outlaws, which was crazy to meet that guy and hear some stories from him. And I don't know, I just always thought it was fucking cool. And when I started taking photos, I was always going to motorcycle shows and car shows, and I was like, I gotta get a bike. And I come from no money or nothing, and for some reason I'm like, I gotta get a Harley, and I could have got a fucking Honda or something stupid, real cheap, but no, I had to get a Harley. So at 25 years old, I got my first Harley, and I've never looked back, and had a bunch now. And like I said, now I'm on a dual sport kick. All I want to do is go off-roading. We were just up in Canada last weekend, and I was dual sporting with some of the guys from Lowbrow. So
Wow.
that's pictures from Nepal right there. That's Michael Lichter and Gary from Dayton.
Nice.
GT5000 Gary. Shut up.
Yeah,
that's Gary. Yep.
Shut
I actually almost
up.
killed him in Nepal.
You almost killed him in Nepal. I have to hear that story.
Mark almost killed him in 7 or 8 states.
GT 2.5 there for a little while. He's working his way back up though.
The second day we were in Nepal, you know me, I shoot photos while riding. No one told me there's no laws in Nepal when it comes to riding motorcycles or anything in cars. There's just like, there's no rules on the road. So we're on a highway, and Michael Lichter, always shooting everyone else. I wanted to shoot some photos of the famous Michael Lichter that I'm so inspired by him. And so I was turning backwards, shooting a few photos, and the next thing I know, when I look back, everyone stopped in front of me, including my friend Gary right there. And I went, oh, fuck, Gary, and I hit the front brake, and as I'm hitting the front brake, I'm already hitting Gary. Gary flies off into oncoming traffic.
Oh, my God.
A truck misses him. I fly into a shit ditch. I flipped over the bars and into a shit ditch, literally covered in muddy poop, whatever. And just, I call it a shit ditch. But I get up, all kind of just dazed and confused. Bear, I was on that motorcycle Sherpa with Bear, and he's off his bike already directing traffic, freaking out, like, get off the fucking road. And I'm worried about Gary. Gary's like, I'm fine, but like, it was messed up. I cried a little because I've never hurt anybody. I've never gotten in an accident before shooting photos. And what had happened is there was just a truck stopped in the middle of the highway. It's a 55-mile-an-hour road, and they were just stopped in the middle of the highway for no reason.
Oh, holy.
And so everyone panicked, stopped, and I wasn't paying attention because I was just being my dumb self. And Michael Lichter sat me down and just said, dude, I've fallen off my bike at 70 miles an hour, hit my head, and all this other stuff, but I got back on, and I still do what I do. He's like, you will too. Don't feel bad. It's just Gary. No, he didn't say that. He didn't say that part. I'm just fucking with you. But he goes, Gary's okay. You know, you're okay. Everything's okay. You do what you do. You love what you do. Everything's going to be all right. And it was really just a powerful moment between Michael and me. And I spent 2 weeks with Michael. And what was the coolest thing about hanging out with him was he always was asking me questions on how I shot photos and how I shot why was I shooting in this dark alleyway, or why was I shooting on this dark bridge or whatever. And he was asking me, there's Gary again right there. He was asking me questions and wanting to learn. The guy's always constantly learning. So
Oh, yeah, he sure is.
Pretty neat and inspiring. It also just taught me, like, even the best of the best still has to keep learning. And that's what I try to do too. I try to challenge myself to learn. So Nepal was insane, and that was a humbling experience for me. Hitting Gary really changed my viewpoints on life, and also I'm not indestructible, and I might be still crazy, but I got to also take care of myself and others around me as well. You know?
Mark, I can't wait till we get done with the show and you get to call Gary and talk about how he actually changed somebody's life.
Dude, I heard the story before, but I never heard that he actually changed somebody's life. Dude, of all the people that you could have run into that guaranteed was going to bounce back, no questions asked, GT 5000 definitely is the one. What a great freaking dude he is, man. I spent a lot of time with Gary. He's a great person. And I'm telling you,
that was the first time I ever met him too. So, I've known Pat for years, and Pat's like, "Here's my friend Gary," and Big Meese was there, and we just had a really great group on that ride. And I just unfortunately had to almost kill him the first 2 days and to make him respect me.
Hey, you're friends for life now. That's all good.
We've almost tried Gary. We've almost tried killing Gary way more times than you could imagine, and he always seems to bounce back. But that Dayton crew, I spent a lot of years out there with them. They are some great freaking people, man. Hands down, that's an amazing group of people.
Hey, we tried to kill him on a cruise ship a couple years ago. So,
and
overboard.
And as far as Michael goes, I swear he has 1,000 lives.
Oh,
I've
dude.
seen him do some of the most redonkulous
how
stuff.
about the time that he used to have one of those photo chairs that slid into the receiver of a truck? And it broke, and he came out of it at, like, I forget how fast they were going. It had to
on
be
the
60.
highway.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
That's fantastic.
Michael is an incredible human, just in so many ways. And everybody, we at least in our circle call him MFL.
Yeah.
And it's Michael
Effin Lichter.
Effin Lichter. And that can go one of two ways. Like, oh my God, that's Michael Effin Lichter, or Michael Effin Lichter.
I say that when I see his knee pads. Michael Effin Lichter and his knee pads.
Oh, dude, listen. One time we were on the chase, and I probably shouldn't say who it was even, but somebody was Michael's pilot for the week, right? And when you're Michael's pilot, Michael was very particular. Slow down, speed up, slow down, speed up. Over here, get closer. Ride like this, ride like that. And I came around the corner at a bridge where they were having a discussion about a misunderstanding of how he was doing it and how Michael wanted it. And this dude, he's corporate Harley, first of all. That's all I'll tell you about it. Lost his shit on Michael Lichter on the other side of this bridge, pulled over,
throws his helmet down.
Threw his helmet down and said, "I don't give a fuck, Michael."
How many GD pictures do you need of the same motorcycle left side at 35 miles an hour going around a corner? You've shot the same motorcycle for the past 30 minutes. It hasn't changed.
But you know what? You can't argue with the fact that, like, somewhere in those thousands of pictures, like, I was interested whenever I started spending a lot of time with Michael, and I realized that all of his pictures are as shot, as framed. And for a photographer, that's a big thing in today's world, you know what I mean? And he still sticks to that, as shot, as framed, and that's why he shoots so much.
Yeah, that's not me. Edit the fuck out of my shit.
It's hard. It's hard, right?
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I like to make my stuff pop, and I don't know. I've come to a different kind of style. I'm trying to do very cinematic things, and he can make things look beautiful without even trying. But I'm always trying to make things look cinematic and make you feel like you're there in person, popping out in colors, and making you feel like you're the next person that's going to be in line to be in that, like Tyler right there. You want to be that guy.
Dude, and this right here, this is my favorite thing about your photography. You always manage to get, like, you can feel so much from this picture.
Yep.
That he's tired, that he's hot, that it's intense, that it's, like, all of that is coming out of that look. You can see that look, man.
That's also a worried look, because the last time he rode that motorcycle, he wrecked at 150 miles an hour.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When he went down on that bike, we developed a new safety strategy on racing, and we actually have checklists now, and there's just so much more, where we used to just go out and Tyler's like, fuck it, let's go pin it, and now we have every precaution in state, and he's always thinking about safety, and is this run going to be worth it? You know what I mean? So he's definitely more conscious now of the dangers of it all, and I'm trying to capture that stuff. We're actually going to Bonneville for the first time since his last accident. We've done, I think, 3 tuning trips to Arkansas to get this bike really dialed in, but he's gonna break some world records with that dual engine this year for sure.
That's exciting.
Oh, that's exciting.
Really exciting. It's dialed. I mean, the dyno numbers, I can't share that stuff with you guys, but it's gonna hit way over. So
That's exciting. So
I'm very excited to actually be able to film all that. So
that is, because that's a once in a lifetime thing.
Or 7 or 8 times, depending on if you're
But each
if you're
time
Mikey.
is different. But no, each time is different, and each time
It is.
You know, and you never know what's going to happen out there. So it's a once in a lifetime thing.
yeah, he's hitting a handful of world records. I mean, he's one of the few. Some people go there and they never hit a record.
Right.
They'll never hit a record the entire time. They're there for a whole week or the 4 days at the world speed, and they might go for 10 years and they never hit a record. And somehow that man has hit, I think, like 10 or 12 records in different little classes of different vintage Triumphs, and he just keeps doing it. And he's got the wicked magic, man. Him and a couple people, Ferrucci Fabrications has helped him with his dual engine, and Dutch Engineering. And I mean, this bike's insane. It's a tank.
Passion and perseverance.
For sure.
Well, and you know what? You think about that. Think about what you said there. A guy like Winkeller, you know, a member of the Gear Grinders since he was a kid and moved out to California. At Bonneville, probably as many times as for as long as there's been salt, you know, and helped more people achieve that 200 mile an hour hat than anyone else involved in salt flat racing, and still doesn't have one of his own. You know, I mean,
Wow.
that's just,
Really?
yeah, that's how crazy and
Wow.
fickle, because there's so many factors to it, man. There's so much, so many things can go wrong, everything that has to go right just for it all to come together. It's impossible odds.
The air density, the humidity, the change in altitude, because it's like you're like on Mars there. Like everything changes all the time. So you think you might have your jetting correct 1 minute, and then the next minute you don't. And then I would just be like, put some fucking electrons on your bike, and you don't have to worry about it. But that's not the purest in some people. You know what I mean? They want to run the certain kind of things. You know, so.
So I want to go back to you a little bit, if that's okay. We know where
Yeah.
your motorcycling passion comes from. How about photography? Where does that come from for you? Because not everybody can see things the way a photographer does. You have to have a special vision and a special eye for the subject.
That's a hard one. I wanted instant gratification on art when I first started photography, and I just played around with angles. And as I got more and more in depth in it and more figuring out what I wanted to do with it, I visually just look for things that look beautiful, I guess. I don't know how to explain it. With this shot here, the dude's just literally playing with the chain, but there's a group of friends having a real conversation. There's a real story behind what's going on behind this. You know what I mean? Like this fresh build, this fresh Evo that has 5 miles on it, but no one knows that. You know what I mean? There's all these little things, these nuances, and you can make up your own stories with it. It's almost like that new Bike Riders movie that they made an entire movie off Danny Lyon's fucking pictures. You know what I mean? It's not, there's no stories in Danny Lyon's pictures, but they made an entire movie on it. And that's one of my goals when I'm looking at what I'm shooting. How am I angling my shots? How am I framing them? How am I making the colors pop and the way it looks? These are my favorite when I'm rolling and riding. These are what I really am truly passionate about, because motorcycles are meant to be in motion. You know what I mean? The aspect of a motorcycle is to be rolling down the street. So I can capture that. That's my favorite. And being on a bike, you get way different angles than you would in the back of a truck or a van.
Absolutely.
Everyone always asks me that. Why do you shoot on your bike? And it's because the angles. I can get way different angles than you can in a van or a truck. So.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
right there.
I think your photography is super unique because you do find, like you're saying, you find a plain Jane picture, and your direction to that picture is what makes it what it is. Like the eye, like you're saying, Michael Lichter has a great eye. Jeff Cochran has a great eye. To see what Jeff's the total opposite of you. Jeff wants everything to be the sun to be right. He wants the bike, whatever he's taking a picture of, he wants to be such the center that it's directed. You seem to make everything around it as much the center as the picture also, or as the actual bike or situation. It's pretty unique. You have a very unique eye.
Thank you.
Yep.
I appreciate it.
What made you decide that you wanted to pick up a camera?
After my mom died in '09, I was painting and doing a bunch of like art, and I used to be in bands for a very long time, and I was no longer playing music. And when I was painting, I just found it very boring and too long. Like it just took forever. So I saw my wife's camera hanging out in the office, and I was like, "Babe, what are you doing with this?" And she's like, "You can mess around with it, just don't break it." And I haven't looked back since. Like, I actually used that camera till it blew up. You know what I mean? There's one of my favorite photos I've taken in the last few years. That's Tyler's youngest daughter, Ginny.
Oh my gosh.
She's
Dude,
coloring.
look at that
The light
face.
is just perfect.
Oh. And someday she's going to be a 40-year-old grown woman and look back at this picture like
It's perfect.
yeah.
Like that is I hate to, and I don't use that often, that picture. Like when I was flipping through your stuff, that one stopped me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like
It's that face she gives you.
Oh.
It's that.
Yeah.
Like, what are you looking at, jerk? But then she's also got the cutest freaking Bonneville whites on that we all wear,
Mm-hmm.
And that one,
Yeah.
this
You don't
one
know if
right
she's
here is
curious or pissed.
this is one of my favorite right here.
That's his eyes open. Like, keep your eyes open to the world. And I don't know, those tattoos speak volumes, but then also like, look at the contraption that he's on. Like, there's so much going on in this build. You know what I mean? And it makes you ask a lot of questions, and keep your eyes open to the possibilities of life.
How long have you been with Lowbrow?
This is May. This May was going to be 9 years. It is 9 years now. So the amount of time that I've been with Fuel Cleveland, I've been with Lowbrow. Basically, Tyler, when we did the first Fuel, he was so ecstatic about my, I guess, aggression to succeed, and also the fact that he was sending all his product photography to California.
Oh,
And he was
jeepers.
like, dude, he's like, can you do product photography? I'm like, no, but I'll figure it out. And he's like, I need you to come on board. And I was like, well, let's make it work. If it can work, it'll work. So
Now, and how many years has Lowbrow? They have an anniversary, correct?
yes, we just hit 20 years.
That's what I thought. Okay.
So it's a huge anniversary. We're doing a little thing we came up with called the Lowbrow Golden Ticket. Every month we're giving away one golden ticket in a random order, and it's this humongous plaque. It's like, I don't know, a foot by 6 inches wide, and it's like this thick. It's like a gold bar, basically, made out of brass and some other shit that Martian Machine casts up for us. But if you get that in your package, you're gonna win a $1,000 gift card to Lowbrow Customs, which is humongous. And because we're 20 years strong, Tyler said, I'm not giving away just 12, I want to do 20.
Wow.
So we're actually giving them away at events too. So we gave one away at Mama Tried. We gave one at our last swap meet. We're going to give 2 away at Fuel Cleveland. So one on Saturday and one on Sunday to some
Nice.
random person. It could be the person that rode the longest to Fuel Cleveland, like from California, they rode all the way over. Or it could be somebody broke down and had hard times. Or maybe it's just some rad dude that's fucking wasted. I don't know. We don't. It's whoever speaks to us the best that we feel is deserving. You know what I mean? And it's been really cool to see the people winning. They've all made little videos of thank yous and what they're doing with their bikes. And I don't know, it's really cool to see Tyler giving back and just thanking his customers for sticking with us for 20 years. And it's a really cool thing. So
Absolutely.
I love it. I love it. And I know personally, Lowbrow gives back in so many ways. They sponsor so many things. Like, for example, they sponsored my Tankful project this year. Actually, they reached out to me and asked if they could donate tanks. We raise money for Meals on Wheels every year. No questions asked. He sent me 20 Fat Bob tanks for 20 artists. And they do so much for the motorcycle community, and this is just another thing that they do on top of Fuel Cleveland and sponsoring all these great little events. So good for you for being a part of all that.
With Lowbrow, we strive to be a part of the community because we are the community. Like, we want to be the community, and we're a part of it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We're not trying to do all this hard stuff to make it look like we're being good. We're just doing it. You know what I mean? Like, it's we strive to be the part of the community because we are. I guess this is what I'm trying to say. I don't know how to explain it other than like we just exist with the community and want to help them as much as we can. I like how you're flipping through all my motorcycle photos on my that's my personal Sportster, by the way.
Yeah, listen, I got a thing for Sportster builds, as everybody knows, man, and I love this bike. There's no secret about it.
Thank you, I appreciate it. We that's the very first lowbrow hardtail. Jesse from Gasbox developed it with Tim Ferrucci from Ferrucci Fabrications, and that my bike was the donor bike to do the very first lowbrow hardtail.
Well, I didn't know that.
That's sharp as hell.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. That's great. Oh, Jesus, not this guy.
Speaking of hardtails.
So that's Pat splitting one of those Himalayans in half because he was jumping it.
Jeepers.
Shocking.
He was like,
should be
tell Tyler I made my own land speed bike.
Wow, dude.
He'll hurt himself on it.
Look
Don't worry.
at that.
That's somewhere in the Himalayas. I don't know. I couldn't tell you where. Somewhere in Nepal. That is our Saturday Sportster 2 build that I was very involved with.
Yeah, no, that's great, man. That's something that you guys have, the Saturday Sportster program. I really dig that. I really dig that thing that you've been doing.
Yeah, Tyler and I sat down and he goes, I want to make a series where we can make people feel confident about building motorcycles without having a ton of experience. And we made the first one with Todd Muller, Crazy Todd. And then this second one was with Ferrucci Fabrications, Tim Ferrucci. And Tim and I worked for 2 years on that build. And we filmed every single process from start to finish. All we started with was a motor and a frame. And we show you exactly every process you need to do to build a bike. And it's not like fast forwarding through shit. Like, it's explaining every detail to the wiring, how to wire it, how to make a wiring diagram, everything. Because there's so many videos, they just kind of like say they're building a bike and showing you, but they don't actually explain it. There's like all these secrets to it or something. Like, it's secretive. And it's like, no, we want to make you feel confident and actually build a bike yourself. You know what I mean? And with that confidence, they come back to Lowbrow Customs and they want to get the parts that we have. You know what I mean? So it all works hand in hand.
Oh, we believe in showing every part. I even put it in the video whenever I hurt myself doing dumb things with tools.
Somebody wrote a book.
There's this
on
one
building
part where
chop
Todd,
boxes, too,
in the first series, he actually was using fork tubes and like doing this to, do the slide hammer to pull them apart. Well, he left all the fork oil in front of him. So when he was doing it, he jammed the fork oil and exploded all over his like khaki t-shirt. Oh. And everyone loved it. And they're like, man, that's so fucking real. And it's like, yeah, that was real. It really happened. Yep. I'm not going to delete that. That's amazing. And he is mother effing and screaming,
That's
it was a good
wearing
time.
a khaki t-shirt doing the front.
Yeah. Hey, listen, khaki pants. That's khaki pants. You're in the shop with khaki pants all the time.
We've done a lot of stupid stuff.
Usually with burnt holes from grinders. And
That's right. Yep. Somebody shooting grinder at me.
Oh, Jesus. All right, man. Well, listen, thank you so much for coming on with us tonight. Tell everybody where they can keep track of more of your stuff, and more importantly, what are the actual dates? I don't think we said the dates at all this show about Fuel Cleveland this year.
So Fuel Cleveland, you can find it at fuelcleveland.com or Facebook at Fuel Cleveland or Instagram at Fuel Cleveland. The dates are July 27th from 10 to 7, and July 28th from 10 to 4. There's just hundreds of motorcycles that will be in the show and thousands that are in the ride-in show. We have custom vans, food trucks, you name it, it's there. And like-minded people that just want to talk motorcycles. So fuelcleveland.com, you can find out all the information where to stay around town. We have pre-parties. Oh, Lowbrow, another one giving back, the Lowbrow keg party. We're doing it. We usually do it at Mama Tried, where we give away 2 kegs of free beer throughout the night. We're doing it for Fuel Cleveland's after party on Saturday. It's at American Legion Post 19. We're doing the Lowbrow keg party till the kegs run out. It's free. So that's just one more reason to come partying at Fuel Cleveland. You can find my Instagram at Mikey Revolt. Right now it's just cluttered with Fuel Cleveland because that's all I'm doing is absolutely destroying my algorithms by promoting Fuel Cleveland. I also have a website, foreverthechaoslife.com. There's the keg party right there, yeah. So July 27th at 8 p.m. And then Lowbrow Customs, everyone should know lowbrowcustoms.com, but you can find us at Lowbrow Customs on Facebook and Instagram as well.
Right on, man. Well, please, as always, let us know whatever we can do. It sounds like Mark is going to come up and spend part of the weekend with you.
I feel like somebody hit me up with your crew, said they're going to have a Cycle Source booth still there anyway.
Yeah, Brandon.
Brandon, yeah, that's it. Brandon. Yeah. So that'll be cool. And I got you in a good spot this year again. And
there is no bad spot there.
Dude, there really is not. Like, you would think when I first saw that layout that you did where like all the vendors were on that road on the way in, I was like, Jesus, all the vendors are going to be all the way in the back of that. But it's like, it's its own event. Like Vendor Village is its own event there. Like you see people spend half the day just going through, talking to everybody that they know and hanging out. It's bitching.
Yeah, when you park, like that's like the first ride-in show. And then when you walk in, you have to go through Vendor Village. So what's crazy is some people go through Vendor Village and they don't even realize the actual Fuel Cleveland show is after Vendor Village. They've spent all their time in the ride-in show and in Vendor Village. They didn't even make it to the main show.
Yeah.
So it blows me away when people are like, wait, there was actually another show. And I'm like, yeah, there's food trucks and all this. It's a huge property. So make sure to look at fuelcleveland.com, check out the map, get your bearings straight on it, and come have a good time. It's a good time.
Right.
I don't know what else with my hands. I don't know what to do.
All right, man. Well, listen, thanks.
Mark, I gotta say one other thing. Mark, you need to catch up on the beard game, bro. Like it's a little short. You keep trimming it or what?
Oh, look.
Remember that birthday thing we were talking about? Dude, I'm way past you. There's no catching up on shit no more.
No.
So that thing has wasted. Well, I can say though, I mean it's been here for like 30 years. So when you get to 30 years, we'll talk again.
I'm almost at 10 years on this. So
wow.
Mikey,
right
so
on.
he's at the age where it's
great.
migrating. You haven't hit that
dude,
age yet. Mark's is migrating.
Yeah, it's doing whatever the hell it wants. I can't do anything about it at this point.
That's always good seeing you guys. I'm really appreciative of the time. I appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for always believing in me.
Absolutely.
And it's always a pleasure talking to you guys. It's just like hanging out with friends and family. You know what I mean? We could spend 6 months to a year not seeing each other, and when I do see you guys, it's like where we left off. You know what I mean? So
right on.
I'm very appreciative of you guys.
Yes, sir. Us for you too, man. Thanks for doing what you do, buddy. You keep it up.
All right. Thanks so much for the time. I appreciate y'all.
All right, man.
Thanks, Mikey.
All right, everybody. Hey, you're watching Shop Talk here. Every Sunday night we go live at 9 o'clock on the East Coast with this program. 90 to 120 minutes of all the two-wheel bullshit we can fit, thanks to the good folks over at Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio. We still, believe it or not, have a lot of show to get through, and right now we're actually, Mark, so you hip to this whole the Bike Riders movie? Have you been following any of this? There's a lot.
Is there a Hot Rod movie yet?
No, there's no Hot Rod movie. It's just
obviously we didn't get to go see it last weekend because of
the flood
and everything that was going on, and we tried getting it today, but our day kind of got hijacked with work. So we haven't had a chance to go see. I think maybe tomorrow.
And this is specifically because I was talking with Keith Ball about it, and Keith Ball had such a strong reaction to it that I asked him to do a video with me real quick. And I have to see this movie now because of his reaction and because of reaction like, Mikey, and knowing the photography that's been in this circulation in our culture forever that this movie was basically built from. I have to see this movie and I have to make a determination for myself. But believe it or not, I don't know that I entirely agree with Keith Ball. But let's stop for a minute, take a look at his review. We're going to come back on the other side of this and talk about it.
So bikers all over the nation are now I wasn't impressed. It did nothing for bikers, for outlaws, or the industry. Besides being boring, it didn't portray anything but the worst aspects of the biker outlaw life. I was disappointed. Take any coppers represent so much more to our society and to the motorcycle industry as a whole. It's amazing how positive motorcycling is for freedom and for our country. We represent so much more than just this outlaw. Just so much more to it than that. Actually, this movie inspired me, and I've started to write 2 storylines. And one is about a single brother. The second one I'm calling The Brothers, which may turn into a book. And I would really like to reach out to guys all over the country who've accomplished great things during and after being a part of a club. There's just so much more to this story, and it's just too bad they went down this road. So watch for these stories, watch for the news on bikernet.com, and we'll keep freedom alive.
All right, so I'm gonna let you guys take all that in for a minute. Go ahead.
Let me say, I gotta almost say that I totally understand how he feels about this. That's almost exactly how I feel about it, and I haven't even seen it yet. I think partially after Sons of Anarchy stuff, they found out that anybody that rides is going to go see this movie. They found a way to make money without even thinking about the depth of what it was going to be. I couldn't agree with Keith more, and I haven't even seen it yet. Hollywood takes and exploits it so far. Like he said, they could have done so much more, showed so much more positivity out of it. It's almost sad that they take advantage of.
Here's a couple things real quick, because like Professional Monkey just immediately lit up a bunch of stuff that I want to say about it. First of all, anybody out there has to understand, if you're not aware of who Keith Ball was, at one point this is a man that rode with the Hells Angels, and I mean like rode next to guys like George Christie and Sonny Barger. I mean he was there in the day, so he has some pretty great depth when it comes to club life experience. I understand a lot of what he's saying, but I also feel like there's part of motorcycling, and I'm the guy all the time, dude. I say all the time about the metaphysics of motorcycling and how there's so much more to it and so much depth. I also feel like we're in a time in this country where people have to stop being such sissies. You know what I mean? We're like celebrating masculinity and sometimes just raising hell. Like that can't always be a bad thing. You know what I mean? And like, I get it. I get the need for positive influence on the motorcycle culture and everything else. But I also think back to when motorcycling really hit its high water mark. It wasn't guys that wanted to come in so that they could learn to be in the prayer circle. They were coming in because they looked at guys on motorcycles and they were like, geez, that seems like some crazy shit. I want to be part of that.
But also on the other side, number one, It's not a documentary. It's entertainment. It's a storyline, like Mikey said, created from somebody else's photography. And it really does only represent one segment. It's not a story of everybody that rides a motorcycle.
Well,
So, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing it, and I'm saying this not having seen it.
Now I feel especially bad because it represents a lot of the guys that I grew up with riding motorcycles.
Right, but I'm saying it doesn't represent everybody. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing it, to see my own opinion. And
Well, and as a matter of fact, Mikey was actually still hanging on and agreed to come back on. So we're going to have him talk about that for a minute too. What do you think, man? What do you think? I mean, Keith, I got mad respect for Keith, and he had a pretty rough assessment of the deal.
I agree with some of the statements. For me, as a visual and like storyteller, I found the movie lacking of story altogether. I would give it like a 5 out of 10, and it was like here. And I had a conversation with a friend, a buddy of mine that's also like in the movie / photography realm and stuff. And this movie was based on a book that had no context, right? There was only little bits of pieces of information of who these people are.
Yeah.
And a non-motorcycle rider, a non-person that doesn't know much about motorcycling, but is a fan of this book and how beautiful it is, wrote a movie and created a script about it. So not to give much away or this or that, but like Benny, the main character, doesn't feel like the main character at all in this movie. Like I have no connection with him. I have no feeling of what he represents as a person, because the whole movie is actually in the narrative of Kathy, his wife.
Yeah.
So you only get tidbits of information about this motorcycle club and the what's happening when the whole movie is about the motorcycle club, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So what we're laughing about is the no context of this movie that was created based on this no context. You're getting a surface look in a book of these things, and that's what this movie is. You're getting a surface outlook of what a outlaw gang in the 50s would look like, and it just it lacked so much story. And again, it's from an outside perspective looking kind of in, and you just don't connect with anybody. So that's my take on it. I was hoping for like Blow, Johnny Depp, you connect with that character the whole time. And like I was hoping for Heat, I'd connect with the bad guys the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, or like The Sopranos or any of that stuff. Like you like connect with those bad guys, and yet you cheer for them and you root for them. And I just didn't find myself like wanting to connect with any of these people. It just did a disservice, I think, to the whole thing. But there are lots of great motorcycles and a lot of friends' motorcycles in there that I was like, oh, hey, that's blah blah blah's bike, and that was cool. That was neat for me, to see that. But I was kind of disappointed.
Yeah, I did think it was kind of suspicious that I saw the Hydroglide that Harley modeled their new special motorcycle. I was like, how'd that get in the movie?
No, but the funny part about it is everybody paid to go see it. They're going to make all that money.
We should be so lucky that we're talking about what this does or doesn't do. At least motorcycles are out there. But I agree with what Mikey said. Like I almost feel like in a small part they ripped off Seinfeld. If you remember the pilot of Seinfeld, they were like, "We'll do a show on what? Nothing."
Nothing.
What do you mean doing a show on nothing? Well, what'd you do today? Well, I came over to your house. That's a show.
Shrinkage, Jerry.
I do
if anything, it's going to raise panhead prices up extremely.
Oh Jesus!
Right?
So
great.
Like everyone and their mother is going to want a panhead. So if you've got panheads,
good call.
you're in luck, sir. The market just went up.
How much do you love the ticket?
Yeah. Hey, you just stop right there. No sale.
I mean, I like that whether it's in a good light or a bad light, whatever it may be. Again, I haven't been able to form my own opinion. I love that there's a movie that brings motorcycling to the forefront, and we are seeing that more and more. Hell, I saw an AARP commercial the other day with motorcycles. I mean, it was Chris's channel.
Heather?
But
She's
just
pretty
saying,
hard on the old thing today.
But I'm just saying, motorcycling is becoming so much more mainstream.
She keeps hitting on that me getting older thing.
Oh,
AARP.
please.
I see where
Right?
you're going.
Yeah.
I got 10 years on you, so. You can't even say that. I just like that motorcycling is becoming more and more mainstream. And whether it's this way or another way, there's always going to be somebody that sees that and sees that element of danger and badassery that's going to be like, I'm going to get a motorcycle.
Or did you just Don King right in the middle of Shop Talk?
Yep.
I have no idea.
Yeah, she did.
Hey, I want to go back real quick to Mark Hendricks' comment up here because it was so good. 2 takeaways for me for this movie. Main, guy quits riding because of his woman. And 2, bringing a gun to a knife fight is okay. That's...
Wow, spoiler alert.
Right?
Jesus.
Oh, yeah, Mark.
Mark,
What?
spoiler
What do you do?
alert. They haven't seen it yet.
I'm going to see it tomorrow. I don't care. I don't care.
It's okay. You'll
I'm
have
going for
fun.
the popcorn.
You'll have fun. It'll be all right. The bikes are pretty. The cars are pretty. The time, if there's some cinematic, okay. And it's cool is they actually replicate some of Danny Lyon's shots in motion.
Dude,
which
I saw that. When they did
it's pretty neat.
When
That's
they did
pretty
the
neat.
crossing to Ohio, when they duplicated that, I was like, wow. Because I've thought
pretty-
about that picture a million times in my life of riding.
Yeah, that's some of the cool cinematic stuff. There's also not period correct things, which they even talk about in some of the behind the scenes. Like Norm Reedus is riding a shovel head that's in the like early '60s that didn't exist. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
or like when they go to start some of the bikes, they don't ever turn the key switch on in the center console and then kick it over. Like they just kick it over and there's no lights, and so they're using sound effects. So that kind of stuff. It's like, come on, guys.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Mark,
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
how
little
many
sad
people you think
sometimes.
you're going to catch on to that?
Mark does that
How many
sometimes.
people? How many people you think you're going to catch on to some of that?
You'll be
stuff?
surprised. I bet
if-
you more than you think.
No one. It's just me. I'm a nerd. That's the problem.
Well, like we would. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. But you know,
and
but
all
there
the
would be a bunch
panheads
of
start in
baggers
one
that
kick.
parking lot.
That doesn't
That
happen.
does not happen.
You
And let me
ain't
guess, they
shitting.
don't leak either.
Yeah.
Every single
right.
one starts in one kick.
Oh,
I'm like,
that's
come on. He's got to at least prime the motherfucker.
That's not not true. No, I think you'll be surprised how many people notice that. Like I was watching a series yesterday. I'm like, she didn't have that she had the tattoo 2 episodes ago. She didn't have it in yesterday's episode, but today she has the tattoo again.
Yeah.
People are gonna notice.
All right. Well, either way it goes, the Bike Riders in theaters now. Get out and check it out for yourself. We want to know, though. We want to know what you think. So be part of this conversation. We're actually going to put Keith's review up on our social media with our interpretation once we see the movie tomorrow. So let's keep talking about this, and maybe we'll get back into it next week again a little bit with some of you guys. But Mikey, thanks again, man. Thanks for coming back on and giving us. You were probably the most qualified person to have this conversation because you use more than 3 words to describe shit. So
The bike rider, good. Not, I don't know.
all right, man. Have a good one.
Thanks again, guys. We'll see you. Have a great night.
Take care.
All right, everybody. You're watching Shop Talk here on the Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio. We are going to take a look at a cool feature bike when we come back on the other side. Believe it or not, we actually have some events to show you about because everybody's getting ready for Sturgis. Oh, yeah. It's right down the street. It is.
Literally.
Out of Focus is brought to you by Garage Build. Submit your build, share your passion. Powered by Dennis Kirk.
Hey, my name's Chuck Garric. I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. I am the bass player for Alice Cooper, and I have a very heavy tour schedule. But I did have a few months off, and during that time, we ripped apart this bike, and this is a 2003 Sportster XLH. So I found my mentor in Eric Lund, Graybeard Motorcycle Service in Menominee Falls, Wisconsin, right outside of Milwaukee. He told me he'd help me build my bike if I helped him in the shop with his repairs and his bikes. So we traded time for time. It's the best thing that ever happened to me. Eric didn't touch it. He just would kind of oversee what we were doing, kind of educate me on what I'm looking for, what we're trying to do, and our goals. So I ripped apart this whole entire bike from the ground up, man, and it was an amazing experience because I was doing everything I've ever wanted to do. My dad built bikes in the early 60s in San Francisco, California, and we never got a chance to build a bike together. So I have one picture of his bike, and all I saw was this flame design on his bike, on his knucklehead. And I only had one picture of it, and I just recently found it. So I thought this would be a great way for me to pay tribute to my father by taking his tank design and applying it to my first build as well. Me being a musician, this is one of my favorite guitars. I always loved the look of the black and the brass. I thought I would kind of model it a little bit after that to tie in the music side of things. So I took this Sportster and slapped a jockey shift on the other side from Lead Sled Custom and tried to make it as vintage as I possibly could and as fun to ride as I possibly could. I have a band called Bisto Blanco. This is the guitar I use. So loud is just to kind of give a little bit of direction to the people when they're getting a little boring. My buddy Kendall in Milwaukee, Wisconsin painted the bike. I talked earlier about the flames, where they come from in the history. This is Kendall's touch that I thought was such a cool idea to tie the two together. It looks like it's tape, but it's not, which is really kind of a neat thing. I thought he got some green tape and did that when I first saw pictures of it. But everybody will think, it's the pipes, which yes, they are loud, they're thumping, that's for sure. But it ties in the meaning of the music and the guitar along with the exhaust side of the bike where it does get a little loud. Hey, this is Chuck Garric from Nashville, Tennessee, and you are watching Grease and Gears.
Riding takes you from A to B or just lets you escape. There's a flow to the road you share, so go with it. Eyes open, and always have the Law Tigers by your side. If you've been injured in a motorcycle accident, visit us at lawtigers.com. Law Tigers, America's motorcycle lawyers.
Hey, it's Billy from Twisted Team. We're live in Sturgis, and you're watching Shop Talk.
All right, welcome back to the Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio. You guys are watching Shop Talk. We're so glad to have you here, especially because it seems like we're settling back into our groove with the show, man. Like we got all but maybe little glitch here and there. Everything's cool. We're digging it. The season is trucking along.
It's going by too fast. Can I go back to Chuck Garric's
Of course.
bike? So, Chris, you did that interview.
Yeah.
And when he said what he does for a living, I literally thought you were going to pass out.
Not what he does for a living. So how did it actually go? They said, hey, you know, our buddy Chuck, he's the bass player for Alice Cooper, right?
Well, no, somebody kept telling us for years, oh, I want you to meet this guy, I want you to meet this guy. Well, when we did the interview, we didn't know that this was the guy and that he was the bass player. So
No, but the specific thing that I lost my shit about, they told me that he was the bass player for Alice Cooper, and that's cool. Alice is badass, you know, totally wicked. in doing the interview with him, I find out that for a time he was also the bass player for Ronnie James Dio.
Oh, that's right.
And I was like, okay.
You literally dropped
Yeah.
your headphones.
Like that's really badass for
I
me.
think you might have bowed to him.
As a bass player, yeah, that's two of the best gigs you can have.
Yeah.
So I fangirled.
Well, now that
He
we got
totally
that out of the way.
fangirled.
I fangirled a little bit.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
So listen, man, do us a favor. If you're digging the show, if you dig what we do here, this is something we do every Sunday night at 9 p.m. on the East Coast. Make sure you like and share. Tell other people about it. We've been doing this for 279 episodes, doing our best to get out the information about the two-wheel culture, the events that go on, the people that are part of it, the people that are adding so much like Mikey tonight. And we appreciate you guys coming back here and helping us do all this. All our regulars piling in, like everybody's killing it tonight. Radar's reminding us that no Sturgis this year. He's doing the Hokahay. So it's going from Key West to Homer, Alaska.
Oh, I wish you could have done
Big
that
time.
this year.
Yeah, I know.
Chris did the very first one.
And I would do it again. So this is where we should tell people we're doing the news with Heather, or the events with Heather, but we have a brand new event sponsor,
Yes.
Oh, boy.
right?
Yes. 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 We
And I'm
do.
going to let you tell everybody all about that.
Well, let me pull up their site so I can link them in. Nothing like throwing me putting me on the spot.
Come on, kid.
So, kind of by accident, happenstance, completely, random. Cyclefish. I reached out to Cyclefish for Smokeout, and we got to talking, and it looks like we're going to be doing a great deal of work together. Which, if you don't know Cyclefish and you're looking for motorcycle stuff to do, it's basically a national database of motorcycle events. You can browse by state, you can browse by major event, like the type of event. If you're looking for a biker bar or a biker rally or any of those things, you can check them out at cyclefish.com. But it's been pretty neat. Super cool guy. And actually, the guy that started it is going to be a guest in just a few weeks here.
So now I have to do a brand new pre-roll. Because you guys
you
know
can't play that pre-roll.
You guys know that normally we run a whole thing that says the biker events are brought to you by, and biker, and
Yeah.
all that. This time we're just gonna
She
go
almost said biker.
biker. We can say that. I mean, that would be cool enough if we did biker. The events are biker, brought to you by biker. And now,
Did you say biker?
And now Heather with the event.
This is our next event. We're going to be here, the Dennis Kirk Garage Build Bike Show at the Running Aces Casino on July 13th, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's going to be a good time. I'm looking forward to it. This is the first one they've ever done. Usually they do their garage build shows in Sturgis and Daytona.
We're calling all parties, man. Like these people have gone way out of their way to support the garage builder culture. Like year after year after year, they're in Daytona, they're in Sturgis doing special shows just for the garage builder. This is the first hometown show that they're doing at their facility. So come out and, if you're states away, plan on making the trip.
Yeah, if you guys are in the area, come on by. It's going to be a good time. We'll be there.
Hey, are you here with me? Are you doing this with me?
I guess. Fuel Cleveland, which we just spent an amazing hour talking to Mikey Revolt about oh my God, I totally
Hale Farm.
Hale Farm. I was going to say
There
Hain.
you go.
Hale Farm, just outside of Cleveland in July.
You're literally killing me tonight.
I can't read it. I don't have a screen. You're crippling me.
Oh, boy.
You're going to have to do it.
You're killing her, Whitey. Killing her.
So Heather actually got the date right on this one, July 27th to 28th, 2024 at Hale Farm.
Sorry. Vintage Soul Show, July 27th.
Doherty's Tavern, Prior Lake, Minnesota.
Yes.
Wild Turkey Customs.
Perfect.
Our boy Teach.
Here, I'm going to open the thing. Harley Homecoming, featuring the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Jelly Roll, Hardy, and Audubon Beaver. July 25th
Cypress Hill, dude.
Cypress Hill. I just like to say Audubon Beaver.
No, Cypress Hill.
Whatever. Just Audubon Beaver just is fun. It's like saying chimichanga. It's way fun. Anyway, we'll be there too, July 25th through 28th in beautiful Milwaukee. The inaugural Cycle Showcase Sturgis Edition at the Steel Pony Campground. We're super proud of Big Randy.
I got to hurry up and wrap this up.
Yeah, it's way past my deadline.
We got to get you to a place of worship.
Gallery opening and industry party at Cycle Showcase Sturgis. We hope to see you there Sunday, August 4th.
You're ahead of me.
Oh, jeepers.
Look, stop in and get fueled up. I didn't even realize it. I'm ripping Mikey off with our pre-party. Wow. Son of a bitch.
Real nice, Chris.
Loser.
Real nice. You were so
Mikey,
nice.
it's a free event, but we'll give you royalty somehow.
Loser.
Next?
Next.
You got to say next.
Cycle Source Custom Bike Show Sunday, August 4th, 11 to 4. Trophies in around 30 classes. Best of show wins a roller courtesy of Paco and Black Bike Wheels. Actually, he's coming on too soon.
Yeah, Elliot,
Very cool.
right?
Elliot from Black Bike Wheels is going to be a guest. Monday, one of my favorite days of the week. I have a lot of favorite days of the week in Sturgis. Vintage Motorcycle Day, Monday, August. That date is wrong. August 5th.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Seriously? We're this close to game time?
Gates open at noon.
Seriously?
There's field games, free sack lunch for everybody that shows up with their AMCA card. Also Monday, Old School Chopper Show at Full Throttle Saloon. Free. Everything is free. It's free. You can win prizes just for entering a bike. You can win some cool trophies.
And it's a hell of a good time.
It's a damn good time.
Steve Burrows puts this thing on, man. He kills it.
Yep. Next. Wednesday, the 18th. 18 times you've done this. Actually, 18 consecutive years because you didn't get shut down.
Right.
COVID. We were there COVID.
Yep.
Our run through Van Acher Canyon, an annual run to the line.
That means we're old, Mark.
With the Cycle Source crew, photography with the legendary MFL. That's Wednesday, August 7th. Leaves the Iron Horse Saloon at 1 p.m. sharp. All riders who register get a free sack lunch and maybe even an ice cream.
So the 7th there is right.
That is correct.
Okay.
Now that we got that straight.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
One of my favorite nights of the week is the Black Hills Boogie. This is our 4th time or something
Fourth
or
or
other.
fifth, yeah.
Disco party and chopper show. Come in your full 70s regalia. It's a dang good time. Roller skates are welcome.
A dang good time. You're killing me.
What the hell?
Stop saying that.
What the hell?
You know my name. Google me.
What the hell?
Next.
Stop.
Friday, we close out the week on Friday, August 9th with our annual Biker Olympics and mini bike drags. No fee to enter. Just please don't destroy our mini bikes.
Oh, they will.
Yeah, they will.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all sign a waiver. If you crash, it's your own damn fault. $100 for each class winner and a cool championship belt. Ready?
And medallions.
Oh, and because it's the Olympics.
It's the Olympics.
You got to get gold medals.
Da.
Smoke out September 5th through 8th, 2024. Just don't miss it. It does not suck, I promise.
Born free, y'all.
Born Free Texas edition, October 17th through 20th, Yellow Rose Canyon. It's, again, a damn good time.
So listen, we're not don't put comments up about this right now. Next week, we're going to talk about this. This is going to be the subject for next week. I'm going to give you the entire week to think about this. So you got Texas events moving to California, California events moving to Texas, dogs and cats living together. How do you feel about it? It's a crazy world out there, Jerry. It moved.
You're giving a homework assignment.
Oh, I'm just saying. It's something to talk about for next week rather than politics or the economy.
Were you talking?
Did a lot of Seinfeld references this week here.
That's enough, Lulabo. That's enough. All right, listen, in the meantime, man, I want to tell you guys thank you so much for putting up with us while we went through our couple rocky shows while we relocated from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to beautiful Mitchell, South Dakota. Thank you to everybody on the Clock team who have helped us make the move, acclimate to this location, clean up from the flood. Do it all with a smile. You guys are absolutely the best. Brian and Vanessa for having us in this beautiful building, and Mark for continuing to come back, and no matter how much abuse we can throw at him with shitty computers and broken stuff, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, well, we got a tech guy now, so we're golden.
Yeah. So
So good.
the tech guy is the best part of the deal. He fixed it like this.
Yeah, right?
Yep. Until then, keep in mind that a lot of people were hit by the heavy weather. People in Minnesota and Iowa, our hearts and prayers go out to you. Everybody here is still, there's people right down the street that work at clocks that were, hit pretty hard by the flood too. So we're hoping everybody makes it through this one okay. And
So next week is Elliot from Black Bike Wheels.
there you go. Look at you, just pulling that information right out of thin
I have
air.
I have them lined up. I'm ready to go. The week after that, July 14th, is Chelsea from Ride Sober. Very cool. And after that is Lucky from Cyclefish.
Right on.
We got a good lineup.
Last thing I'm going to remind you guys of is that we are currently involved in helping Logic Cycles promote this motorcycle that is going out for the benefit of Meals on Wheels. It's part of Heather's Tankful deal that goes down with Smokeout. Lots of great companies signed on to throw parts at this thing. In the end, it's going to be a killer custom Vicla style, and it's going to go out to one lucky winner. You can go out on the website today, grab your ticket for that, help somebody, an elderly American who shouldn't have food insecurities.
You do not need to be present to
Nope.
win.
Not at all.
However, if you are not local, you are responsible for shipping the bike, but you don't have to be there.
Oh, look, he says bike is at paint. Got some good picks, so we'll share that with you next week. And until then, keep your powder dry, keep your motorcycle up in the air. Trust me when I tell you this, all of them, keep them 4 feet up, no matter what.
I'm like, what?
That's right. Monkey, thanks for being here tonight, man. Glad you made your trip safe, and everybody else that was here with us. Until next week, we'll see you next week right here, same chopper time.
Same chopper channel.
Keep them dry, Felicia.
Perfect.